In a quiet suburban neighborhood, where houses stood in neat rows and lawns were perfectly trimmed, lived a woman named Karen. She was often seen as the unofficial leader of the community, known for her strict adherence to rules and her opinionated nature. Karen believed that every home should look just as it did when it was built. Subdued colors and classic styles were the only way to maintain harmony in the area. Her own house was painted a soft beige, with white trim that fit perfectly into the neighborhood's cookie-cutter aesthetic. To some, Karen's desire for conformity seemed excessive, but she took great pride in her efforts to keep everything looking just so. She would walk her dog every morning, casting watchful eyes on her neighbors' properties, always ready to offer unsolicited advice or a disapproving glance. One day, as she strolled past her neighbor's front yard, Karen's attention was caught by an eye-popping feature, a bright teal front door that stood out like a beacon. It clashed with everything around it and made her cringe. Unable to contain herself, she decided to voice her thoughts at the next homeowners' meeting, insisting that the color was unacceptable and ruined the neighborhood's charm. Karen's complaint set off a chain of events that would transform not just her neighbor's front door but also the entire community. Little did she know that this simple complaint would lead to an unexpected showdown between her ideals of conformity and creativity. The neighbors' reaction would become legendary within their suburban bubble, and soon, everyone would be eagerly waiting for what outrageous color might appear next on that rebellious door. As gossip swirled among neighbors, tensions began to rise. This was only the beginning of a colorful battle between conformity and self-expression. As Karen continued her daily walks through the neighborhood, her eyes would often find their way to the bright teal front door of her neighbor's house. It was unlike anything else in the area. While most homes featured shades of beige, gray, or soft pastels, this door was a bold statement. It shimmered under the sunlight, catching the eye of anyone passing by. The color was so vibrant that it almost seemed to glow, surrounded as it was by neatly trimmed hedges and perfectly manicured lawns. The teal door stood out like a jewel in a sea of muted tones. It was framed by white molding that accentuated its uniqueness, resembling something one might find in a tropical paradise rather than a quiet suburban street. Each time Karen walked past, she would feel a mix of annoyance and disbelief. How could anyone think such a color was appropriate for their home? For her, this door represented everything she detested about changing times, chaos in an orderly world. Little did she know that the homeowner had chosen this striking shade purposefully, wanting to express his individuality and creativity. To him, the door was not just an entrance but also a canvas where he could showcase his personality. Despite the rest of the neighborhood's uniformity, he relished in his bold choice. The clash of opinions about the door simmered within Karen until she could no longer hold back. That bright teal color didn't just disrupt her view, it challenged her notion of harmony in suburbia. Eyes narrowed with determination, she resolved to make her voice heard at the upcoming meeting. This colorful disruption would mark the beginning of an unexpected confrontation between conformity and self-expression, leaving everyone curious about how things would unfold next. After Karen aired her grievances about the teal door, the homeowner, whom everyone referred to as Jake, decided to take a rebellious stand. Rather than retreating or conforming, he was inspired by Karen's complaint. With a playful smirk, he hatched a bold plan. Every month, he would transform that door into something even more outrageous. It became his mission to showcase his creativity and inject some fun into their typically serious neighborhood. The following week, with paintbrush in hand, Jake launched his colorful campaign by painting the door an eye-popping neon pink. As he worked, he laughed at the thought of Karen's reaction. Once finished, he reached for his phone and decided to live-stream the big reveal. Friends and neighbors tuned in, eagerly watching as Jake pulled back the curtain on his vibrant masterpiece. The comments section buzzed with excitement and laughter, with everyone cheering him on. With each new month came a fresh color or design that pushed the boundaries of imagination. One month it was zebra stripes, black and white swirls that danced across the door like art from a wild safari. The next month saw glitter black sparkles so bright they caught the moonlight at night. Each transformation became an event in itself. Neighbors gathered to watch and celebrate Jake's artistic expressions while Karen fumed behind her curtains. This ongoing spectacle not only highlighted Jake's humor but also transformed the once-staid atmosphere of the neighborhood into a place filled with lively conversation and laughter. The door became a canvas of self-expression and joy, challenging Karen's ideals directly and inviting everyone to embrace their quirks in delightful ways. What started as a complaint had sparked a colorful revolution that no one saw coming, including Karen herself. As the months rolled on, Jake's creative flair sparked a wave of excitement among neighbors, each eagerly anticipating the next transformation of his front door. His first daring change was to neon pink, so bright it almost seemed to vibrate. Neighbors were delighted, and the live stream chat erupted with playful comments and laughter as he unveiled his masterpiece. Next up was a bold and whimsical design featuring black and white zebra stripes that twisted and turned across the door. It looked wild and untamed, turning his home into a safari showcase. That month, Jake also decided to incorporate animal sounds during his live stream, making it an extra fun experience for viewers. In December, as the holiday spirit filled the air, he transformed the door into a sparkling wonderland with glitter-black paint that shimmered under the winter sun like stars in a midnight sky. Each brushstroke created a dazzling effect that mesmerized everyone who passed by. The following month featured a twist on tradition as he painted the door in cheery rainbow stripes. Bright reds, blues, yellows, and greens danced down the surface in vibrant bands, symbolizing joy and acceptance. It was a celebration of all colors, and a fun nod towards inclusivity that resonated with many in the community. February brought hearts galore as Jake created a Valentine's theme with swirls of pinks and reds adorned with hand-painted hearts. That door was not just seen but felt, it spread love throughout the neighborhood. With each new design, not only did Jake defy Karen's complaint but he also invited anyone who watched online to get involved, asking for suggestions or even hosting friendly contests to pick next month's color or theme. The once quiet street was now alive with creativity and laughter, proving that sometimes a little rebellion can lead to unexpected joy. The idea to livestream the repainting of Jake's front door quickly turned it into a local spectacle that captivated not just neighbors but also viewers from far and wide. On the day of each new transformation, excitement buzzed in the air as people gathered outside his home, eager to witness the latest creative endeavor. Jake set up his camera with anticipation, ready to share each moment with the online audience. As he painted, he would engage with those watching, responding to comments and questions in real time. Viewers from across town tuned in, leaving messages filled with laughter and encouragement. "What color will it be this time?" one neighbor shouted amidst the crowd, while another suggested fun ideas like adding glow-in-the-dark paint or even fairy lights. The live streams became a way for Jake to connect with his community. Each month's reveal was like a mini celebration, complete with snacks and music playing in the background. Neighbors brought their kids to watch as they cheered him on, creating a lively atmosphere that had replaced any tension from Karen's earlier complaints. The door quickly became a canvas of creativity that everyone could rally around. As Jake painted zebra stripes one month, he playfully added animal sounds into the live stream, a roaring lion and trumpeting elephant, prompting giggles from viewers both online and in person. The next month's glitter-black transformation dazzled everyone who passed by, especially when Jake invited fans to vote on what additional decorations should adorn the door. With each live stream, word spread beyond their quiet suburban streets. Local news outlets began covering the phenomenon, featuring clips from his broadcasts and showcasing the vibrant energy of the neighborhood. What began as a simple act of rebellion against conformity blossomed into a joyful movement that encouraged self-expression and community spirit, one colorful door at a time. As Jake's colorful transformations gained popularity, the Homeowners Association, HOA, couldn't ignore the growing buzz surrounding his front door. Concerned that the vibrant displays were straying too far from their traditional standards, they decided it was time to intervene. After all, maintaining uniformity was at the core of the HOA's mission. Members believed that every home should exude a classic charm that matched the neighborhood's established aesthetic. One sunny afternoon, a group of HOA representatives arrived at Jake's house, clipboard in hand and serious looks on their faces. They examined the front door, now adorned with eye-catching zebra stripes. "We've received numerous complaints regarding your unconventional choices," the HOA president, Mr. Thompson, announced with a furrowed brow. He cited Karen's persistent concerns about maintaining property values and the overall harmony of their suburban haven. Jake listened with a smirk, ready to defend his artistic expression. "But there are no rules against color in the bylaws," he countered, his voice light-hearted yet confident. The HOA members exchanged glances, clearly unsettled by his upbeat demeanor. Sensing their frustration, Jake welcomed them to inspect any regulations that might apply. After some investigation, the HOA soon realized that their hands were tied. Their bylaws didn't specify any restrictions on door colors, leaving them unable to take action against Jake's vibrant displays. This revelation set a ripple through the community. Word spread that the HOA had no authority to enforce conformity in this situation. Karen, upon hearing the news, felt a mix of anger and helplessness as Jake continued to paint his door in ever more extravagant colors. Unbeknownst to her, the HOA's failure only fueled Jake's determination to create even more outrageous designs month after month, turning the colorful front door into a raging symbol of creativity and rebellion in the neighborhood. After the HOA's visit to Jake's house, the members convened for an urgent meeting to discuss the issue at hand. Tension filled the room as they sifted through the association's bylaws, determined to find any clause that might support their position against the colorful door. Karen, seated among them, hoped fervently that they would find a way to put an end to what she deemed a chaotic display. As they pored over the documents, one member, Mrs. Henderson, with reading glasses perched on her nose, finally came across a relevant section. "Here it is," she declared, pointing to a line about maintaining property values. Excitement surged through the group. Perhaps they had found their loophole. But as they read further, disappointment settled in. The bylaws only mentioned that homes should be well maintained and free from unkempt appearances. There were no specific rules regarding door colors or designs. The mood shifted dramatically as the reality sunk in. "So we can't enforce anything?" Mr. Thompson asked incredulously, his brow furrowing in frustration. The room fell silent as they processed this revelation. They had come prepared to challenge Jake but found themselves without the means to do so. Karen felt her heart sink. She had pinned her hopes on the HOA to uphold her vision of conformity in the neighborhood, and now it seemed that her dreams of restoring order were slipping away. As word spread about the HOA's findings, Jake's vibrant displays only grew more popular among the neighbors. Despite her disappointment, Karen couldn't help but notice how much joy Jake's colorful transformations brought to others. Children laughed and played in front of his house, while families gathered for each live stream event. With no restrictions holding him back, Jake continued to paint his door with ever more imaginative designs, solidifying its place as a beloved centerpiece of creativity in their once conventional neighborhood. As Jake's front door continued to transform into a vibrant array of colors and patterns, Karen's frustration grew. What had started as a simple complaint had spiraled into something much larger, with the door now standing as a bold symbol of rebellion against the conformity she so desperately wished to uphold. It seemed that every month brought not only a new color but also new levels of excitement and joy for the neighborhood, while Karen felt more isolated in her desire for order. Determined to rally the other residents against Jake's colorful display, Karen began organizing neighborhood meetings. She would passionately argue that the door represented chaos and undermined their community's values. "This isn't just about a door. It's about maintaining the charm that drew us all here," she insisted, hoping to ignite the same passion in others. However, as she spoke, she noticed a mix of reactions. Some neighbors nodded in agreement, while others exchanged glances that suggested they were growing weary of her complaints. Despite her efforts, Karen struggled to gain traction. Many residents were charmed by Jake's creativity and saw his door as an expression of freedom rather than a threat to their community. Children giggled as they played in front of Jake's house, and families gathered for each live stream event, cheering him on as he unveiled his latest designs. The more Karen tried to rally support against Jake, the more she felt like an outsider in what had become a lively and colorful celebration of individuality. Even her closest friends began to drift away from her side, choosing instead to embrace the joy that emanated from Jake's door. As the door became increasingly popular, Karen found herself questioning whether her strict ideals were worth the growing distance between her and her neighbors. The once quiet community had transformed into a canvas of creativity, leaving Karen grappling with feelings of frustration and discontent while Jake thrived in his newfound role as the neighborhood's colorful hero. As Jake continued to unveil his colorful front door transformations, a remarkable sense of community began to blossom around his live stream events. Neighbors who once passed each other without a word now gathered in front of Jake's house, excitedly chatting and sharing in the fun. Each month, as the door changed from neon pink to glitter black, the atmosphere became more festive, with families bringing snacks and drinks to enjoy during the broadcasts. Children would race to the front yard, their laughter filling the air as they painted mini canvases inspired by Jake's latest designs. Parents engaged in friendly debates about what color should come next, and suggestions poured in through the livestream chat. This spirit of collaboration turned each painting session into a neighborhood celebration, where everyone felt included and part of something special. Jake embraced this newfound camaraderie, often inviting neighbors to join him on camera or even help with the painting process. He encouraged them to share their ideas or vote on themes for upcoming months. "What do you think we should do next?" he would ask, waving his paintbrush like a conductor guiding an orchestra. The joy was palpable. People felt connected not only through their shared excitement for Jake's door but also through the deeper bonds forming within the community. Even Karen, though initially resistant to the changes, couldn't help but witness the happiness radiating from her neighbors as they celebrated this vibrant display of creativity. While she still held her views on conformity, she found herself torn between her strict ideals and the warmth of the community spirit blossoming around Jake's door. As word spread about the lively gatherings, more residents joined the fun, turning what used to be a quiet street into a vibrant hub of artistic expression and friendship. This shift not only deepened relationships among neighbors but also transformed how they viewed their community, no longer just a place to live but a canvas painted with laughter, creativity, and togetherness. In the months that followed, the neighborhood underwent a remarkable transformation, one that would leave a lasting impact on everyone. Residents grew increasingly comfortable with the idea of individuality and colorful expression, inspired by Jake's ever-changing front door. It became more than just a door, it was a symbol of creativity and community spirit that encouraged others to embrace their uniqueness. Families began painting their own doors in vibrant colors, inspired by Jake's artistic approach. Children started requesting rainbow-themed decorations for their homes, and even some of the more reserved neighbors found themselves stepping out of their comfort zones to join in the fun. Block parties emerged, featuring contests for the best decorated home, fostering an atmosphere of camaraderie and celebration. As this lively culture blossomed, so did Karen's perspective. Initially resistant to the changes happening around her, she gradually recognized the joy that Jake's door brought to her neighbors. Watching families gather together with smiles on their faces made her reconsider her own rigid beliefs about conformity. While she still preferred subdued colors for her home, she began to appreciate the warmth and happiness radiating from the bursts of color around her. One day, as she walked past Jake's front door painted in joyful polka dots, she felt something shift within herself. Instead of frustration, she felt a small spark of joy. Karen came to understand that vibrant expressions didn't diminish her home's charm but added layers to their community's story. Accepting this new reality wasn't easy for her, but it was freeing. By choosing to embrace individuality rather than fight against it, Karen found herself becoming part of a community that celebrated diversity and togetherness. This once quiet neighborhood had transformed into a vibrant tapestry of color and friendship, where differences were cherished rather than rejected, and Karen had learned to accept her vibrant rainbow as an integral part of their shared journey.